Who are you looking for on our team to kind of, obviously excluding Gillespie? I think we all think that he's going to be our leading scorer. He has been for the majority of this year. But as we were stating in the first two games, you had one guy kind of take a step back, Nate Ament. You had two guys on the bench step up in that absence. Last game, you had a couple guys on your bench not step up, but you had one guy that hadn't played that well step up. So who do you think could maybe step up in this game that could really be a difference maker? I've got my answer, but Michael, I want you to go first.
I think it's got to be either Bishop Boswell or Amari Evans.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got to have, especially Boswell to me, because he's going to have more time on the court as long as he stays out of foul trouble. But you've got to have him contribute scoring the basketball, whether it be driving to the hoop or knocking it down from long range. But
Yeah.
to further the point that you made earlier, that they're going to be trying to lock down Gillespie because they know that he's the playmaker. Everything runs through him, whether it be dishing the ball out or scoring. I think Boswell is going to have to play a significant role in handling the basketball in this game because they're going to be denying Gillespie and
Yeah.
they're going to force somebody else to have the ball in their hands. And that could be a detriment to Tennessee because they have not done well when pressured on ball this season. They don't have that true ball player or ball handler on the outside like they have had with Zakai Ziegler, like they had with Santi Vescovi, even going back to Jordan Bone. There's not that true ball handler on this team. So I think Bishop Boswell is number one. Number two, coming off the bench, is Amari Evans. He's going to have to play a big role. He's going to have to play that, just hair on fire type of game, that gameplay like he does every single time on the court. But he's also going to have to play under control because he's going to have to log some really important minutes, and he's got to make sure that they're good minutes and not just going out there giving somebody a breather and then, all right, going back to the bench. Those are my two answers for who's going to need to step up in this game.
Well, I love that. I only have one answer for this, but I'm not going to pick a starter because I do feel like Nate Ament has to have a game. Like, he can't just go out there. He's got to be able to funnel some of that defense on him, even if he doesn't have a great offense. Go ahead.
That's the number one answer is Nate Ament. He's got to step up and he's got to have himself a game.
Exactly, but I didn't want to pick a starter. But I do think the game plan is, even if Nate doesn't have a great game, be a distraction. Make them force the game plan of Iowa State to be centered around Nate and Jacoby Gillespie, because then it allows, and this is my answer, but it allows a guy like Amari Evans to come off the bench and have that type of game that he had earlier in the season when was it Nate Ament that was out, or was it Jacoby Gillespie that was out? I can't remember which game.
It was Nate Ament that was out. It was that Vanderbilt game at home, final game of the season.
And he popped off 20-plus points and looked like a ball. And the reason why I say it's Amari Evans is because I do feel like he is your best all-around athlete. I think the guy has handles. He's got speed. He can dunk the daggone ball. He can score from all three levels. So if he can get hot, I do think Boswell, if he ends up having another good game, it's because he's feeding off that fire that he got and that confidence that he built up in round two. But Amari Evans, after having kind of a disappointing game too, if he can come out and be so valuable off the bench, we know his skill set's there, and I think he'll be one of the biggest returning starters. And I say returning starters, but he'll be one of the best returning players next year's team for sure. I mean, I just love the potential this kid has. So I do think he is. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just think he's a box of potential, just waiting to explode. I hope maybe it happens in this Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the reason I'm not going to bring up a guy like Ethan Berg is because I feel like at this point right now,
I think he's shown you what he is.
Limited.
I think he's shown you what he is
at this point. Yes. Yep. He's limited with what he's going to give you at this point. Now,
if he popped off earlier in the year, like Amari Evans did for 25 or something like that, and you're like, oh, okay. But I mean, Ethan Berg's best game, I feel like, is maybe 10 points on the year. I don't know. Like, he hasn't shown us that he can be a capable scorer.
But also, I feel like if you give him another offseason at Tennessee to work through a lot of things, then my answer might be Ethan Berg, because I feel like the skill set is there. It's just the experience level is not quite there. Where I think Amari Evans, the skill set is there, and even though he doesn't have, he's got the same amount of experience at this level of ball as Ethan Berg does, I feel like he's developed faster and he's got a a better skill set right now than Ethan Berg does. So that's why I'm not going to go with a guy like Berg. I do think it's Evans, but we've got to have good play from basically everybody that steps on the floor. You know, Gillespie's going to have to keep playing his game, and
JP
he's going to have to fight through a lot of stuff that Iowa State's going to throw at him.
If he's able to do that without turnovers,